16 star is dead. 16 star is fucking dead!
When it comes to the video game genre, no community is more well known than the speedrun community. Whether it be Mario, Zelda, or hell even Minecraft, chances are you've seen a speedrun at some point in your life. Speedrunning is essentially just what the name entails. You try to beat a game in the least time possible, and this isn't anything new. This genre of video games, I'd like to say, has been around since the start of time, aka the 1970s. Chances are, you had a game you enjoyed, you're really good at it, you've tried to speedrun it once or twice. But the first ever documented speedrun was the Atari 2600's Dragster, which was one of the first ever commercial video games that actually encouraged gamers to try to get the quickest time in a game, specifically any time under 6.2 seconds. The first person to surpass this time was a man known as Todd Rogers with a time of 5.51 seconds, which, on a side note, was later proven false in 2017 by a fellow speedrunner known as OmniGamer after disassembling the game's code and proving the fastest possible time was 5.57 seconds. After the Atari hype, the art of running through games within as little time possible will become more practiced, with some games even rewarding players for getting through as quick as possible. The best example of this is the original Metroid, with the end credits showing protagonist Samus with less and less clothing the quicker the game is beat. Hell, the entire concept of Sonic the Hedgehog was based around getting through as quick as possible, with the stages being easier to go through the more skilled the player is. Nintendo capitalized off the concept of beating a game as quick as possible with the 1990 Nintendo World Champions, where players had a total of 6 minutes and 21 seconds to play through Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and Tetris as fast as possible. The official rules on the World Champions cartridge stated that players are required to collect all 50 coins in Super Mario Bros., where they then move on to Rad Racer, where they have to complete the first track in as little time possible, and then finally, using what little time you have left, get the highest score in Tetris. Players had from March 8th to December 9th in 1990 to get the quickest time in these games possible. This only reigns across 29 cities in the US though, and with only 126 copies in existence, you'd see why it's not really as widely known as it should be. The title of speedrunning, as well as the modern concept of speedrunning, didn't get as widely popular until the release of Doom in 1993. This introduced the option of in-game savable demos which keep track of each movement and action taken by a player when completing one or more levels. Since capture cards were as non-existent as a good apology video, this was huge in the gaming scene back then. With these demo files, players could upload their runs to the internet for others in the community to see. This was also the start of different categories, but different as we know them today. At this time, people in different communities will focus on doing specific different tasks, like 100%ing the game or damaging no enemies. Yeah, these games were built around bragging rights, and to be honest, it's not that far from what it is today. All that changed after the launch of website Compete-N, which focused on Doom players beating the game as fast as possible. This is the first website dedicated to actual speedrunning, and players were categorized and graded based on how fast they were able to beat the game. After Doom, more games started offering savable demo options, which as a result sparked many more new communities in the speedrunning space. Eventually, a couple of these communities banded together to create a new website called Speed Demos Archive in 1998, which was home to major retro runs. But with the introduction of Metroid Prime 2, the concept of finding tricks and sequence breaks advanced speedrunning even more, as this is a way to play through games faster. The first ever recorded instance of this was the Metroid Prime 2 speedrun done by a player known as Radix, who completed at a time of 1 hour and 37 minutes. This paved the way for a new age of speedrunning, and with the run getting immense popularity, this also helped Speed Demos Archive gain traction as the definitive speedrunning website by both PCs and console gamers alike.
Go time. Taboo! How fast can we beat?
Jesus. Jesus! Dude, what am I supposed to say after seeing this? Like what? What the fuck?
While a lot of people have their own opinions on emulation, it can be heavily beneficial to the speedrunning niche. A tool-assisted speedrun, or TAS for short, is generally defined as a speedrun or playthrough that uses slowdown via emulation to make movement more precise. Some of you may know about this with the recent 100% run of the Subspace Emissary game mode in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, with the new world record time being 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 57 seconds. A TAS run isn't a new concept. One of the earliest documented runs was in 2003 from a Japanese gamer known as Morimoto, who posted a time attack speedrun of Super Mario Bros. 3 online that took the speedrunning community and many other online residents by storm. His video showed off perfect jumps and glitches without a mistake in sight, with the end time being 11 minutes and 3 seconds. While people thought this was real, Morimoto later debunked this claim, posting in the description of the video that this run used speed hacks to slow the game down using a bunch of emulator save states to get the result of said run. But I said this was one of the earliest TAS runs. There are websites out there that shows TAS runs dating back all the way to 1999. an era earlier referred to as built demos. With the advancement of technology and more people having the ability to gain access to emulators, the speedrunning scene, specifically TAS, was beginning to grow more and more throughout the late 2000s. This was also the time that the verification process on Speed Demo's archive was born. Since the owner of the website didn't know how to confirm the games he wasn't familiar with, he allowed others in the community who knew the games very well to verify the run's legitimacy. With the verification process, this also meant that runners had to follow established rules for what was and was not allowed in runs. This ranged from starting the time the instant you gain control to your character to using official capture methods. Yep, that's right, if you use your camera point at your screen, get out of here, you broke bitch. With the constant progression of emulation and technology becoming more accessible to more people, this is nothing compared to the rise of live streaming. With live streaming gaining popularity in the 2010s, this was able to transform speedrunning from something you did alone in your mom's basement to something you could do with thousands of people watching you in your mom's basement. This also loosened the dominance in the speedrunning space that speedrunning demos once had, since not only viewers can see the runs live, but moderators and verifiers can as well. This also got to the point that most runners were even expected to live stream, considering the instant verification and even runners growing their own fan bases while doing so. As speedruns continued to grow, so did the challenges. While speedrunning used to be only any percent or 100%, recent years started introducing speedrun races, blind speedruns, or even randomized. Running's gotten so popular that even charities would host live streams of speedrunning events, raising hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars.
Yes, dude! Yes!
What?
A fair part of this run.
While the speedrunning niche has had its humble origins, recent years have only showed just how much it and its community have changed and just how big of an impact it can have. From stupid challenge runs to even playing the game blind, this just all shows how close of a community two words can bring together. Should I do an Ori and the Blind Forest speedrun? I've been thinking about it for a while.